Hi there, I'm Cyan and welcome to Something Sciencey. On this channel I don't believe in shying away from controversial topics, and that is because I truly believe that everything we see in the biological world around us has evolved that way, whether through an adaptive advantage or through genetic drift, and humans are no exception. That said, I'm not trying to enforce these views on anybody else, and if you don't agree, then I'm always happy to hear other perspectives. So what am I going on about? Well, if you've read the title, you'll know that today I'm tackling the question of religion. And how do I explain the occurrence of religion in over 98% of human cultures around the world with the theory of evolution? Well, there are two branches of thought when it comes to explaining religious worship. The first is the byproduct theory, and the second is the adaptive advantage theory. The byproduct theory stems from the idea that it is advantageous to make type 1 errors, which are false positives, as opposed to type 2 errors, which are false negatives. To explain this, imagine there are two people walking through a forest that is known to be home to some hungry tigers. They know the tigers won't attack if they crouch down in their tiger-proof tent, but they can't walk and crouch at the same time. The person who makes a lot of type 1 errors crouches every time they hear a rustling in the bushes. Many of these noises are not tigers, they are false positives, but sometimes they are, and while it takes a long time, they eventually make it out of the forest. The second person makes a lot of type 2 errors, and they only crouch when they see the tiger, so they can spend more time walking. Now this means that some of the time, when they blink or their back is turned, they don't see the tiger and they don't crouch when it is near, which is a false negative. And so the second person is eaten. The more type 1 errors you make, the fewer type 2, and vice versa. And so it is safer to make many type 1 errors, and therefore see things that aren't there. This is why humans are very good at seeing patterns in random events. When something random occurs, humans are then able to attribute it to something else. For example, let's say there is a storm after a large tree is cut down. One might think it was the spirit of the tree taking its revenge, which then follows the other large trees are not felled for fear of retribution. One study found that religious people are more likely to see patterns in random geometric shapes than skeptics. These patterns give rise to the idea of having a spirit or a soul, or that there is an unseen force that acts on the world. And this is called animism and is seen in religions all across the globe. And if a group believes in spirits, it therefore follows that there might be an afterlife, that there should be a leader who can appease or interact with these spirits, and who is in charge of creating rituals surrounding these events. It is not such a big leap from here to see how larger religions of the world, with powerful gods or singular god, may have developed. Religion can actually have a number of adaptive advantages. For example, if the religion is based on a moral, caring god or gods, where there are consequences for your actions in the afterlife, there is an increase in cooperation, which means better food and security from attack. People who believe in a moral god are more likely to give money to strangers than those who believe in an uncaring god, and this builds a strong societal foundation. Studies have shown that religious worshippers are generally more happy, whether this is because they have the security of a loving god, or the socialism that comes with religious worship, or some other reason. And happy people are generally more successful at finding a mate and therefore having more children to pass on their religious worshipping genes. For many cultures, there are religious restrictions surrounding sexuality, such as marriage, monogamy, and especially the control of women's bodies. This adaptive advantage stems from the idea that men can be more sure that they are the father of the child if there are strict rules on who the woman can interact with, meaning the energy he puts into raising the child are going towards his genes and not somebody else's. These two branches of thought can easily go together, with religion initially occurring as a byproduct of type 1 errors, but continuing and persisting in today's society due to the adaptive advantage that religious worship gives. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that. So, what do you think? Do you think that religion could have evolved if there isn't actually a god? Let me know in the comments below, and please be respectful to each other and each other's opinions, And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. But as always, you've come for the science and now stay for the song. This is a song that I wrote using random words that you might be able to see some patterns in, and it's called Beware the Tiger. Practicing tertiary happiness, adaptive paranoia mutually occurred, widespread, generally theorized humans. Females prevent paternity advantage, encourage responsible ritualism behaviors, communities for increase. Soul God seized and context practices, religious evolves, moralistic ritualistic leader, populations prevalent Christianity. These words are random, their pattern is scattered, but meaning can be found in these earthly tatters. We wove and believe into a human fibre, so worship the God or beware the tiger. Type 1 beneficial, false with fatal, supernatural, more intentional, seen, worship, all out, not worship. Smaller half, which idea after God, morally distant music, society, to religions rated likely. Physiological, indirectly, which reproductive, well-being, those separately, mutually could be. These words are random, their pattern is scattered, but meaning can be found in these earthly tatters. We wove a belief into a human fibre, so worship God or beware the tiger. Ensure honest fertility, partially pro-social, advantageous society, modern Jew, modern study. To have evolutionary, moralistic, commonly social spirits came, higher belief suggested these are off. Behavior is error due, decrease occurring, patterns point to cultures across belief. Propensity, universal, gatherer, appease, hand in hand, shamanism, believe. These words are random, their pattern is scattered, but meaning can be found in these earthly tatters. We wove a belief into a human fibre, so worship the God or beware the tiger. Thanks for watching.